So, are you interested in exchanging your home so you can travel to awesome places, but a little bit hung up on the idea of having strangers in your house? If so, you are definitely not alone. One of the top questions I get from people who ask me about exchanging their home is, but do they have to come to my house too? The answer is yes, and maybe no. In this video, I'll give you some things to think about when it comes to hosting home exchangers in your house. And if you stick around till the end, I'll tell you how you can limit hosting at your house and still get the points you need to travel. First thing to consider if you're trying to decide still how you feel about a stranger staying in your home is how badly and how much you want to travel. I can tell you that I love to travel, and I wouldn't be able to visit multiple countries every year without home exchange. For me, it's totally worth it. On the home exchange platform, the annual fee is $220 for as many exchanges as you want within a year. If you really hate the idea of having someone in your house and you only travel once a year, it might be worth it just to spend the money on an Airbnb or a hotel. If you're like me and you want to travel as much as you possibly can, or if you want to go to more expensive places where the cost of lodging is outrageous, then it's probably worth it to take the extra steps to feel more comfortable hosting home exchangers at your place. I've been exchanging for 7 years now, I think, and I have a bit of a vetting process now. For one, I use a home swap platform that requires identity and property verification, and also it shows reviews of past exchanges. I always read the reviews. They'll tell you a lot about the guests, from cleanliness to communication to anything that may have gone wrong. Speaking of communication, before and after an exchange, I like to learn a little bit about the guest. Who will they be traveling with? Why do they want to come to my town? Are they visiting friends and family? Are they coming for an event? Or are they coming because they love hiking and we're near great trails? Getting to know their lifestyle makes me feel a little bit more comfortable with them, and it makes me feel like I'm inviting a friend into my house and not a stranger. When we exchange our primary home, we keep our office locked and we put anything valuable or breakable in there. It's perfectly fine to have an area that's off limits and locked. Another thing I like to do is let my neighbors know that we're going to have home exchange guests. This serves a couple of purposes. We know there are extra eyes on the house, and I also like to leave my guests with contact info for a neighbor, just in case they have an emergency when they're at our place. The last one's kind of my own weird thing that makes me feel more comfortable with hosting people. I like to schedule a house cleaner to come after the guests leave and before we get back home. Guests are always good about leaving our house clean and taking out the garbage, taking the sheets off the bed, and I leave them departure instructions that they always follow. But having a house cleaner come just ties up all the loose ends, and it ensures that we come home to a spotless house after a long day of travel. One note on housekeepers: you can absolutely ask your guests to pay for house cleaning. A lot of people have it right in their profile, so it's an expectation from the start. If you're doing a simultaneous exchange, I usually waive the house cleaning fee because we're going to their house at the same time they're coming to ours. So I feel like unless they're charging me a fee, I'll just make sure I leave their house spotless, and I expect the same from them. Finally, I know you're wondering my guest points secret. Opening up your home for an exchange, it is kind of part of the deal, and it's also the best way to get points for other exchanges. However, there are ways to get points that don't include hosting people. You'll get 350 points just for signing up and completing your profile and listing. You can also get extra points for verifying your listing, for auto-renewing. Sometimes Home Exchange will send out surveys, and you'll get guest points just for completing them. Another great way to get points is to refer people to the platform. You'll get 50 points for every friend of yours who signs up on Home Exchange, and an additional 200 guest points when they activate their membership. Home Exchange lets you refer up to 10 other people, so you could potentially get 2,500 guest points without hosting anyone at all. And that'll get you a pretty nice vacation. For more on how to swap safely, check out my video about home swap safety tips next. You can find it right here. There's also a link to Home Exchange in my show notes below. While you're at it, please hit subscribe and drop a comment below for me. Let me know where you're going on your next home exchange. Your options are literally limitless. Happy travels. See you next time.